apparently they have an in development show called Good Christian Bitches.
Yep.
Ew, what the fuck?
I have so many questions.
Oh, dude, what the fuck? What's up with CW? What the fuck is up with you?
It's a reboot?
They've also got I'm in love with the dancer from my bat mitzvah.
How to get run over by a truck?
What? What the fuck? Just go to fucking therapy.
If I develop Sims, delete the channel.
We need to start a revolution.
And you know what? I'm gonna say it.
All of them are fucking idiots.
25 is technically used.
Say your morning routine.
And that's fucking it. Excuse me?
Where my Grisha's at? Yo.
I'd like you to rephrase that, Sam.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dean, and welcome back to the InkGuild podcast. Tonight, I'm joined by Alex.
Hello.
Brooke.
Hi.
And Marie-Soleil.
There.
Tonight, we're going to be talking about the CW. Us being from Canada, however, we don't exactly have direct access to the CW. We only have it through available providers such as CTV, Global, City TV, whichever else.
Networks.
Like we don't have, basically the thing is we don't have the CW directly, which means we don't have access to the CW's amazing catalog of programming. Do I have to be direct with my sarcasm when I say that? Or is the dry delivery enough? Because oh god. I think like out of all of our episodes that we've been doing for the past year, we've referenced, give or take, a few shows from the CW, but we've never talked about the network directly. And so that's what tonight will be. The CW episode basically will be just kind of us for overviewing the network's output of content. We won't really talk about the CW as a company because I, for one, don't know much about them. Like, I don't know their business practices, and to be honest, I don't really care to. We're just going to be talking about their shows, and their shows include what? It's primarily
teen dramas.
Yeah, teen dramas. It's very young adult-ish. So your typical demographic for a CW show, regardless of genre, will be somewhere from around what, like 10 to maybe 17, maybe younger, I think.
Depends on the show.
They have a couple of shows that are aimed for like mid-20s to like married suburban housewives who get hot for like Jared Padalecki. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. No, you're not. It's just that sometimes you hear these things and you're just vindicated in what's said, because like you're absolutely right. But yeah, so I guess like what Marie-Soleil was kind of referencing, the output of contents for the CW are shows like Supernatural, the Arrowverse, which, you know, gets its roots from DC Comics, Vampire Diaries, The 100, and I guess the spin-off of the Vampire Diaries, the Originals, I think. Is that yeah? Holy shit, I got that right.
And of course, my all-time favorite show, Riverdale.
Yeah. All-time favorite, she says. But I think with this as we kind of conclude this brief overview, just as a heads up for everyone listening, we don't have a structure for this or for tonight. We're kind of going from series to series or from show to show and going from there. There isn't a set structure. It's very similar to a lot of episodes that we've been doing this season, where the lack of a structure just shows off friends being friends and talking about shows they either unironically enjoy or unironically hate with a burning passion. But with that being said, again, because there is no structure, we're not having it. So we're talking about Riverdale first. We're not going to be talking about whatever in set order. And I think because of these long episodes, or because of these episodes without any structure, there will not be a check-in. There will not be a mid-episode segment, just because, for the sake of transparency, the last few have clocked in at around 3 hours. And if you're able to make it through that far anyway, holy shit. I certainly can't when I'm editing these. But yeah, I think those are the guidelines. It's a rundown of the CW and whatever else might happen tonight. So let's just get started. Let's talk about the Arrowverse actually first, because I know
Right off the bat.
yeah, because like I don't know about you guys, but certainly the CW has gained a lot more of a audience through the Arrowverse, and the Arrowverse is what has started with Arrow, which was the story of Oliver Queen / the Green Arrow. It had how many seasons before it was eventually finished?
Let me double check.
Yeah, because I
8 years.
fuck. Oh my god. It's a long time. So yeah, so there was Arrow, then as spin-offs from said Arrowverse, then there was The Flash. I think that was I think that was like the second show, I think. Then after The Flash, it was Legends of Tomorrow, and in between, I don't know if it was after Legends or during Legends, but then Supergirl was
They started. It looks like Legends of Tomorrow was like earlier the same year as Supergirl.
okay.
They both started in 2016.
Yeah, so they kind of started. Sorry, Marie-Soleil?
Supergirl was originally on the CBS, and then partway through season 2, or after season 2, the CW got purchased them, I guess, or got
Okay,
the
that's
Yeah.
what it is. I see.
Okay.
because it changed.
Yeah.
There we go.
So then what? I think after Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow, there were I think Superman and Lois was another
Black
show.
Lightning, Batwoman,
Black Lightning,
Superman, and Lois.
Yeah. Are there any other ones?
I'm
It says
Googling
web series
it.
is Vixen, Freedom Fighters, The Ray, and then there's a miscellaneous crossovers. Constantine.
Constantine. I know
Constantine,
Lucifer. Lucifer is like vaguely part of that. Vaguely.
Part of the DC comic universe.
Yeah, so there's been like crossovers with Lucifer as well, but it's generally considered separate.
Okay, so
There's only 7 in the Arrowverse then.
Yeah, so like 7 main shows.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess of those 7, let's just start talking about. I think we should start with like the first show, Arrow. A lot of people would kind of say that the first 2 seasons of the show were its best, and then it kind of gets divisive from there. Which
I never finished Arrow. I started watching it at some point because I was vaguely interested in it, and I just got really bored really fast, I'll be honest.
I think I committed to watching Arrow, like, I think right around when it was in its 3rd season. So, like, I had heard so many things about, like, some friends of mine were talking about how Arrow was, like, this really interesting take on what is an otherwise, I don't want to say completely useless character in the Green Arrow, but certainly one that wasn't, like, given as much spotlight as compared to, like, the big, like, everyone who's familiar with the Justice League, or DC and the Justice League, only really associates with the Justice League. Like, you do have smaller characters of importance within DC, but the Green Arrow himself didn't get like amazing treatment. I think like not as big of a spotlight as likely, compared to Arrow as they should have been. But yeah, through Arrow, we had Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, and Stephen Amell was a good lead, I think, in the first couple seasons. Like he was able to like really portray that kind of divisive. I don't know if it's divisive, but just like that kind of like, oh shit, I'm so conflicted because of my triple past, and I want to be I'm going to be this vigilante for Starling City thing. Yeah, like he's good. I don't know what my train of thought was, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah, that's fair. I think a big part of my issue was it very much for me fell into the like broody superhero guy who's so conflicted, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I've seen this before, I don't care.
Pretty much, yeah. Like what made Arrow fit in at the time was sticking to, I think, like, I don't want to call it DC's formula, but like DC's familiar, like darker tone, I think, because obviously in contrast with Marvel, DC has always approached their stories with obviously a noticeable darker like visual, but just their tones in general, like they dealt with more personal conflicts, I think, and like it made Arrow fit in with the thing. But I think now that I've kind of detached myself from it, yeah, I'm starting to notice that it was pretty familiar with all the other dark tones that DC was going for at the time, especially within the early days of Arrow. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Arrow's side characters were pretty interesting. There was, I think, there was John Diggle, Felicity Smoke.
I remember liking Felicity.
Felicity's a damn cutie. We stand.
We stand Felicity. I agree with that.
Like
there was
Gabe
also
too.
Laurel, Nissa, Sarah,
Roy.
Oh. Yeah.
I do also think that, like, from what I remember of watching the show, I remember it had a lot of like mystery around like what happened to Oliver and the people who were with him on was it a boat? I don't remember.
The island? Like the boat crash or just the island in general?
The crash.
Yeah.
I remember there was like a lot of mystery around that, and it was like slowly unveiling, and that was exciting. Like I was just like, ooh, what happened?
Yeah, I agree. I like that part of the show where it's like mostly based in the present, but they'll have constant flashbacks to the island timeline. You get more and more details on what happened there.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, I agree. It's a pretty nice way of like handling that kind of story, because when you start out in Media Res, having the flashbacks was a nice contrast to like piecing the story together. But like I think over time, because they were still doing that into seasons 3 and 4, like how much then of the past do you need to keep exploring?
This is
5 years
like,
of Island, man.
Yeah.
Fair
okay,
enough.
this is like a really weird and out of nowhere comparison, but like that kind of thing is why I eventually got bored of the Pretty Little Liar books when I was into them in like middle school. Was like there was this story that was taking place in the present, but everything was tied to like secrets in the past, and so in every book we kept learning more and more about like the characters' pasts and things that they did, and I was like, at some point I was just like, okay, this is way too much. There's no way all this happened to these like 4 girls. And so I can see, like, I have an issue with things like that. If you're gonna have a story that centers around like a present story and a past story that explains it, it has like, that's a finite story. Like you can't keep going with that like on and on and on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Brooke is right. 5 years is plenty of time to delve into flashbacks. I think it's just that when, I don't know, like the constant back and forth thing between the past and the present, for me personally, like, it's not that I got kind of sick of it, but it's just the fact that like the main story itself was, I think after season 4, the main story itself started getting a bit weak. I think, or starting getting a bit weak. Like it started just kind of going all over the place. So then having that contrast between the past and present stories was like, wait, what the fuck is happening at this point? Like seasons 1, 2, 3 handle that kind of past and present storytelling pretty well because everything was still kind of cohesive in a way. But then once like Arrow started dipping into the mystical and the more like fantasy of its typically grounded story, that's when I think just in general shit just started getting weird. And I don't know if you guys had like paid attention to that or like watched up until season 4, but like for what a lot of people, season 4 had been like the big what the fuck is happening moment with the show.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I got. I'm gonna find a list of Arrow episodes and see if I can figure that out.
I'll be honest. When it was first airing, my mom and I were watching it, but I was young enough at the time that I still had an early bedtime, and I think it aired when I was supposed to be going to bed. So I only got to see like small snippets of it when it first came out. But because it was like 8 years running. I was able to see like later seasons, but I don't remember that much. And I'm rewatching it now, but I'm only like episode 15 of season 2. All I know that happens after this, and specifically, is just like basically everyone becomes superheroes, it sounds like.
Yeah, like in season 2, and I guess this is a good transition actually, but in season 2 was when Barry Allen made is it a cameo? Like he played a pretty influential.
He showed up. I just watched it, and you'd think I'd remember it. Yeah, he showed up for some reason. He was there for like at least an episode.
Yeah.
Had a little thing with Felicity.
I remember.
But then he left, and when he went back is when he got struck by lightning in his show.
Yeah. Sorry, Marie-Soleil, what was that?
If I remember because I didn't watch the Arrow, but I watched the Flash. If I remember correctly, they take place, unlike the other like DC CW TV series, they take place in the same universe.
Yeah.
And, Barry Allen ends up, after he becomes the Flash, goes to the Green Arrow for advice on being a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what happened. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've actually watched The Flash.
So have I. And The Flash is, like, I think also in the case of Arrow, was pretty good for its first, like, give or take 3-4 like 2-3 seasons, I think. Like, I think also when it came to season 4, I was still watching The Flash pretty regularly at the time, like, and I mean like weekly regularly, but yeah, I don't know what it was about season 4, because was it season 4 where they did Savitar as the main villain?
I don't remember.
Couldn't tell you, mate.
I remember liking the first season of The Flash, and then after that it fell apart for me.
Yeah, like it's. Sorry, Alex, go.
No, I was just gonna say what I liked about The Flash was, in comparison to the Arrow, it's very lighthearted.
That's what I was gonna say too. Yeah,
it doesn't take itself quite as seriously, which I enjoyed. But then I feel like as it goes along, it kind of both starts taking itself not seriously enough and too seriously at the same time, and like the writing and the dialogue gets really bad.
Yeah, I think
It's just bad.
yeah, I think we're starting to notice that like the Arrowverse has a season problem. Like Arrow with season 4, The Flash with season 4, because season 4 of The Flash was when the Thinker was the main villain, which was certainly a risk, I think, because the season 1 villain of The Flash was Reverse Flash. Season 2 was Zoom, who was a great antagonist, I think. Season 3, I think that was Savitar. I think.
Salvatore showed up in the 3rd season.
Okay, so yeah. It's just been speedster after speedster after speedster, and then suddenly when you cut the pace, like slow the pace down significantly by introducing a villain who isn't a speedster, that was a risk. And I think I think Alex kind of touched on it like already, but I kind of echoed that sentiment. Like it was pretty much declining in quality already, but then season 4 was like really where shit just kind of hit shit just really hit everything. Because I don't remember liking season 4 at all. Like,
yeah.
At least with season 1 of The Flash, there was the nice like protagonist antagonist relationship between Flash and Reverse Flash. With season 2 and Zoom, it was the same thing. Savitar, I think, was pushing it a little bit. He had a nice look, but I think the reveal of who Savitar was kind of a wet fart. And the Thinker, like it's I don't think introducing another speedster as your main antagonist would have solved season 4, but it definitely wouldn't have I guess it's just like the decline in quality that the series had kind of gone on since.
Oh my god, season 4 is when emo Flash is met. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's what. Oh my god, why? Who keeps thinking emo phases in TV series is a good idea?
I literally sent a picture of emo Flash to some of my friends earlier because I cannot with that character design. It's so funny.
It's part of the formula now. Emo.
Yeah, like a literal emo phase. That's the thing too. It's so funny.
He looks like the love child of Light and L from Death Note. And I don't know how they pulled that off in a live action show, but that's what he looks like.
Just okay, was there any...
I will send this picture to the group chat and you tell me that I'm wrong.
You've done that already and we still agree with you. There's no denying emo Barry Allen was what the audience wanted, god damn it. And, oh my god. Look at him. Just
that's sexy meat right there. Slurp slurp.
Okay.
I am joking. I don't actually want that slurp slurp.
Oh my god. I don't know what else, or I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with like the later seasons of The Flash, like specifically The Flash, because everyone still like for some reason watches The Flash, but like apparently it just gets really weird at that point. Because I think, is anyone planning on watching The Flash? Like,
yeah,
continuing?
I will watch the next season because I hate myself.
Thought about it.
Okay, so
Too many crossovers.
What was that, Marie-Soleil? Sorry?
Part of the reason why I stopped watching The Flash is because you have to watch so many different shows to actually understand what's going on because of all of the crossovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to just skip
Not on
the
Netflix.
episodes.
Yeah, it you know what? Let's talk about the crossovers actually. It was through Arrow and the Flash that was like where they started doing crossovers, which at first was kind of nice. Like it was just,
They're fun at first, but then you get to like the more recent seasons where they have to include every single show, and then you're just like, okay, guys, chill. Like no one is watching all of your shows.
yeah.
Like I remember watching one and like fucking Lucifer shows up for like 2 minutes and then is not in any of the other episodes of that crossover. He's just there for like a split second and does nothing.
Yeah,
Like, why? What's the point?
it's just to remind everybody.
Traction,
Yeah, just hey,
you know,
he
traction
exists.
to the other shows. Look at these other shows we can offer you for your entertainment. Would you like these shows also? I can
It's
give
just
them.
advertisement.
Yes. Come over here to this other show when you're done this one.
Yeah, like it was nice when when it was just Arrow and the Flash, I think, because then you had like a nice
Even when it was like Arrowverse, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, I was fine with it.
yeah.
Like they were a little much, but like, you know, I watched Supergirl and the Flash, and so I was able to be like, oh yeah, I like seeing the connection between the two of them. And I knew enough about Arrow to like get it.
Mhm.
But yeah, after a while,
Yeah.
like the thing is, I can look up Arrowverse episode order. You shouldn't have to do this for several TV shows. This is ridiculous. How many episodes are on this list?
Many.
I'm still scrolling
much.
to the bottom.
Oh my god. Okay.
660
Collective, like between in the Arrowverse.
in the Arrowverse.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. They're gonna make it to 1,000. I think they're just introducing shows to get to 1,000 episodes collectively. Which, I mean, that's cool. I respect that in a way, but also stop. Because, like, to backtrack to talk about the crossovers for a second, I was also, like, with Alex, like, I both agree and disagree because I was down for the initial crossover. Like, I think when Supergirl was officially, like, introduced as a person of, as a person of the Arrowverse, like, when they had introduced her and, like, did the first big crossover with her, I was like, this is pretty all right. And then somehow the following year, I don't remember, and I don't really care if I'm right or not, but I think that's when they did Crisis or something. No, they did Crisis they did Crisis like significantly after that, but like, yeah, the first crossover was fine when everything was still somewhat self-contained. Like Legends still had Arrowverse, like Legends still had Arrow characters. Supergirl wasn't too far off because like you know, she was introduced like she and the Flash had a cameo in their respective seasons, but then suddenly there were a whole bunch of other shows and it's like, wait, what the hell? I can't keep track anymore.
Yeah. Because there are certain crossover episodes that are like just the Flash and Supergirl and like some of Supergirl's earlier seasons, and those episodes are like actually really fun in my opinion. But then like that's the other thing that you mentioned. Like the shows used to be pretty self-contained, but now like you can watch a show and this character will show up and everyone's like, oh, hey, it's you. And you as the audience, if you haven't watched the other show, you don't know that that character was like in Arrow, was a villain, and now this is like an alternate reality version of that character from this other show that's now one of the main characters of this show that you're currently watching. Like, did any of that even make any sense?
No, I got you. Like it's pretty much just I want to say it's like the Marvel formula where everything is so wrapped up within its own universe at this point that kind of starting out of nowhere is a lost cause, because then there are so many characters that have already been introduced and you have to go back and watch those things. However, the thing is with Marvel, because they are only 2.5 hour movies, you still can do it. Like you still can watch like the Captain America movies out of order. But
and I also feel like you can with Marvel movies, I feel like you can still watch one movie for the most part and like enjoy it by itself.
Yeah. Like to a degree,
it's a little harder.
Like those
a little harder like the more and more movies they make, but like especially with the older ones, you can watch them by yourselves and never watch the rest of them and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's when they do the crossover episodes that have a part 2, a different series. Like I think it was Supergirl had the first part, or the Flash had the first part. The second part was Arrow. And if you're watching it on Netflix, the Arrow isn't on Netflix. Green Arrow is not there, so you have to go to a different source to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
they got kidnapped by aliens, and you had to figure out what happened next from a different show.
Yeah, Crisis on Earth X, which aired in 2017. Crisis on Earth X Part 1 is Supergirl, Part 2 is Arrow, Part 3 is The Flash, and Part 4 is Legends of Tomorrow. It's a 4-part episode on 4 different shows.
None of those shows aren't on the same streaming service.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't catch it live and you weren't up to date, you will go in and be fucked. I guess.
Let's use some pirating sites which are not legal.
We are not suggesting you do anything that is illegal.
Don't do that. Obviously don't. Like,
no criminal activity is advocated for on this channel ever.
No. Please don't. We're a small channel right now. Just don't do anything in our name. Oh my god. Anyway, I think just like kind of like as we were talking about like just how different the Arrowverse and Marvel is, like again, because Marvel were largely just 2.5 hour movies, and some of the stories initially, like especially early on, were still somewhat self-contained. The thing is with the Arrowverse, because there are so many shows and it was a weekly thing, there is so much content that most people don't even keep up with at this point. I'd imagine they don't keep up with at this point. Like maybe they'll tune in to the crossovers, but that's still so much content that you would have to put yourself through.
Yeah, it's with 660 episodes. If you want the full experience, that's gonna take a long ass time to watch. And I mean, I feel like at least for me, that's not worth it.
No,
but like at least they're not linked directly into the DCU movies.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Right? Like they're just like separate TV shows. Like this is this part of DC, here you go, enjoy that. But they're not like directly connected to anything DC's done.
There was
movie-wise.
There was a Ezra Miller Flash cameo though.
Yeah.
Like Ezra Miller's Flash was in Flash?
Yeah. For like
oh shit. Oh, okay.
For like 2 minutes. Yeah, because I think that was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like it's weird to think about, but like,
wait, was it like one of those like alternate dimension things? Like, here's a Flash from this other place, or was he like literally just in that world?
I don't know anymore. The CW has been really weird explaining how time travel in the Speed Force works, but yeah, like in the cameo, from what I have seen, it was an out of context clip, but it's basically just like Barry goes back in time, or back in some point in time, and then suddenly Ezra Miller's Flash is there, and they're just touching each other's costumes and shit, being like, "Oh, this costume is cool," and then just
touching each other for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then come the end of the cameo, Ezra Miller's Flash gets written out of existence for some reason, and I'm like, this is okay. I get why this happened. Like I get it's like, ooh, a connection between the two different universes, but like what the hell?
Actually, can we talk about the Speed Force for a minute?
Do you know like the Speed Force?
It's called the Speed Force.
It's a yeah.
I can't. It's the funniest thing I've ever. And it was like a villain for a while, wasn't it?
Was it?
Like
this omnipotent force. It's basically a god-like energy, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember it being a villain. Was that in the later series? Like in the later seasons?
I think. Wasn't that the plot of season 6?
Yeah, that probably explains it. I wasn't watching at that point.
I think that's what the plot of season 6 was.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, it was. I just think it's really funny that there's an entity in the world called the Speed Force.
The Speed Force.
Thanks,
it's
DC.
So funny. It's so funny.
You would kind of imagine that like when you kind of think about it, in my head, it popped up like the Speed Force is a comics thing. I'm pretty sure that CW wouldn't have made something so stupid, but then I remember, oh, it's the CW. Maybe they might have.
Should we hop on to Supergirl then?
Yes, actually, because I know nothing about Supergirl. I tried getting through the first season, and to be honest, I really couldn't keep up with it because, like, I don't know what it was about. I never pronounced her last name correctly, but Melissa Benoist, I think?
I couldn't tell you.
Melissa. I'm just gonna say Melissa Benoist until someone inevitably corrects me at some point in the future. But yeah, just I don't know, just her delivery as Kara didn't sell me, I think, and she was probably trying the best that she could with the script that she was given, benefit of the doubt given, but just still, I don't know. I don't know what was missing from my enjoyment of the first season, because like I immediately got attached to Arrow. I immediately got attached to Flash. To some degree, I even got attached to Legends, but not Supergirl.
I'll be real. I'll be completely honest. The only reason I started watching Supergirl was because Katie McGrath is in it.
That's fair enough, yeah.
That's it. That's the only reason.
Is that the only thing that you wanted to like talk about when it came to Supergirl?
No. I think we've talked about Supergirl a little bit briefly, because I think we talked about it in the queer baiting episode, if I remember correctly.
Think so.
I think we did. I don't know. Supergirl's a weird show for me. It's like it's. I think at this point I've like become attached to the characters and stuff. But like the writing's not great, and it's
Worse as it went on.
It's one of those like superhero shows that's very up itself, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it's like, oh, we're like Supergirl's very much your very typical violence is never the answer. We take out the bad guys and we do it the way that good guys do it. And if you do it, if we do violence, we're just as bad as the bad guys, kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very much that kind of show where it's like there's one right way and one wrong way to do things.
Yeah.
Which is something that I take issues with. They've also like
people should kill people.
What?
Are you saying violence is the answer? Everyone should just kill people?
I will let people
violence?
interpret that statement as they please.
Says the low-key anarchist. Okay.
Shh. But my point is
that doesn't help anything.
Okay. But this actually brings me to something that I wanted to talk about CW shows in general, because this is something Supergirl does a lot, which is address social issues in like a weird way. Like there's two episodes of Supergirl in particular I can think of. There was the gun episode, and in I think the most recent season there was an episode about transphobia, where like one of the main characters in the season, like one of the supporting cast, is a transgender woman who's also a superhero.
Right.
And she was basically like an openly transgender superhero in the world of Supergirl as well. And I guess there was this dude who was a transphobe who was targeting trans women and like beating them up to get to Dreamer, that's the superhero. And so they had this whole episode about like you have Dreamer who's transgender, and then you have Supergirl who is cisgender, and Dreamer was very like upset about the fact that this man was targeting like members of her community to get at her, and like there was this whole plot line about it. And at the end, she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I tried to kill him," because Supergirl stopped her, and there was like this. It was like this whole thing where I felt like they were trying to be slightly nuanced, but because of the way that Supergirl is as a character and the way the show is written, she wasn't allowed to be wrong. And so it came I feel like they were trying to be like, oh, we need to listen to transgender people. This is an issue that we need to deal with. But it still came across very much as like, can I say like a cis savior complex, where Kara's like, well, I don't understand, but
I don't understand. I don't need
think,
to understand.
like,
I'm a good character.
Yeah.
I'll accept it regardless.
And like she was trying to be there for Dreamer to like comfort her and stuff, but like just like the way it was addressed kind of rubbed me the wrong way for reasons that I can't even really explain. And obviously I'm not a transgender person either, so I don't know, and I don't know how transgender people reacted to that episode, but there was just little bits about it. There was just like something about it where I was kind of like, I feel like this was written by cis people without consulting a lot of trans people or any.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that happens on the CW a lot, is there'll be a lot of episodes where they try to address like real world issues, but then they're treated as like a one episode problem and never really go back to it.
Alex, I don't think you know just how perfectly you've transitioned or you've set up Supernatural. You've done that perfectly. Like, I know that there's still obviously other DC shows to talk about, but really like I don't want to. like what? Legends of Tomorrow has conflict to it, but ultimately it's a very Doctor Who-ish kind of layout, so like it's just the legends going on fun adventures through time, and that's it. I don't know about Batwoman or Black Lightning, and because of that I can't really speak on those. So
Watch Black Lightning. If we want to talk about Black Lightning, I can talk about it, but like if I'm the only one that has watched it, then I don't really want to just talk about it.
Well, I mean,
myself.
if you have watched it, then definitely like mention it or like talk about it. Like, what is it like? I guess.
It's kind of so the way it felt like me as a 20s. I can't remember how old I was when it came out, but like my early 20s, white woman watching Black Lightning. It felt like they were going in a different direction of it because it was, I believe, the first TV series about a black superhero. Because this was before Luke Cage came out. And it's about Black Lightning, who I can't remember his actual name, but he's the principal of a school, and they realize that his daughters have superpowers that they inherited from him. And it's both his daughters' stories of how they are growing up with these powers, and his story of him, like, because he had retired as a superhero when he started his family, but now suddenly he's back being a superhero because his daughters got in trouble and he needed to save them.
Luke Cage came out first.
Did?
Yeah, Luke Cage came out in 2016. Black Lightning came out in 2018.
Okay.
My bad. I'm sorry.
I guess, like, from what I know about the premise, I think the reason why I also can't, like, aside from the obvious thing that I haven't seen it, like, I think when it comes to Black Lightning, I think talking about it as a Filipino person likely isn't the right voice to, like, contribute to the conversation. I think, like, again, I haven't seen the show, but I would imagine, like, I would be interested to know, like, if it is a similar Arrowverse CW show, or if it kind of does things differently. Because Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends, despite being within the same universe, like, initially early on had their own nuances, and they had their own kind of like feel to them, I guess, as a show. But I think later on, when the Arrowverse was kind of more established with like a wider universe in general, a lot of it started feeling very familiar, I think. But yeah, I again, I don't know anything about CW, so, or about Black Lightning, so
Yeah. If I remember correctly from like the first season of it, it's like, and remembering what I've seen on Tumblr that people have said about it, they deal with issues that are actually like impacting the that impact Black neighborhoods and Black communities. With the villain of the first season is selling like drugs to vulnerable youths and such, and these drugs are actually like giving people superpowers to an extent. They make them super strong, but it also like and makes them very angry when they're using them, so they end up lashing out. And turns at the school that what is his face? Jefferson Pierce is the Black Lightning's real name. Teaches that it's happening at his high school. Such, and from what I've seen on Tumblr and everything, that people have said that it's a good representation. But again, I'm not personally, I can't say.
Sounds good. I guess if it's been like, if it's apparently nailing that kind of aspect, or if it's nailing those kinds of themes that they're like going for, then that's good. That's always good to hear. I think like whenever shows deal with like very real, complicated issues such as that, and it's pretty. I guess it's like a lot of people are talking about it in a good way. That's good. It's good. It's good that it's there. Yeah, I think that's just Black Lightning. I don't know what other CW shows, like what other Arrowverse shows are there. Like we've kind of touched on the big four, I guess. Like I said, Legends is very Doctor Who-ish, and that it's just familiar characters going on fun adventures through time, and that's pretty much it. Like again, there is conflict there in between seasons, but overall a lot of the stories are self-contained. They kind of get resolved by the end of the episode, as I'm been made aware of. A lot of Doctor Who's like initial formula does really well, like good self-contained stories, while obviously, you know, having the characters change and whatnot. Like it's good. That's good. Legends, the first couple seasons of Legends is fun, is my thing. Yeah, I don't know what else.
Episodes I caught were cool.
Sorry?
The couple episodes of Legends that I caught were cool.
Yeah. It's fun when you have, like, when you mix in superheroes and time travel.
Is Legends of Tomorrow the one that has the guy from Doctor Who in it? Or is that a different show I'm thinking of?
Which Doctor are you thinking of?
Not the Doctor. Why can't I remember his name? Jack Harkness. John... What's his name? John Barrowman.
Yeah, John Barrowman was initially in Arrow.
I think that's why I started watching Arrow.
Because
and then I gave up, yeah, because of John Barrowman.
I need to start watching Doctor Who, actually, because I've, like, apparently it's really fun. Or when it's not Stephen Moffat.
When it's not Stephen Moffat.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about another CW show.
I don't know, the 100 or something.
Dean, are you familiar with the 100? Because I'm not.
I watched 2 episodes.
I watched, I think, the first
came out.
season, I think I watched up until they had to go back into a bunker.
Like, What is the premise of the 100 anyway?
There's like
Decimated Earth.
yeah,
They're up
and
in
there
a
was like
spaceship.
and there was 100 people selected to go back to Earth to like see if it was inhabitable or something,
Mm.
something like that.
In the ship on Earth, ship above Earth, and they have like population control, and that's like a big thing because one of the main characters was like a illegal child because she shouldn't have been born or something like that, and they have a bunch of the young teens like they're in trouble, so they're basically like
It's
the
on the
criminals of their
spaceship.
spaceship. And they're like running out of food, I think, is how it begins. And they're like, we're gonna send you to the planet to see what it's like. So they send down just 100 of these young adolescents. They're like, go see what it's like, kids. And of course, it's teenagers, so it's just all drama.
It's
So
based
on
on
the
a YA novel too, so
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've never read. I've never read it or watched it. I've had a friend try and convince me to watch it, saying that it gets good after the first 6 episodes are horrible, and then after that it gets really good.
That's not really a good merit. Like,
Yeah, never a good selling point, TBH.
yeah, like if you have to get through the first 6 episodes, that's what, 6 hours of commitment for something that like eventually gets good. Like, and that's not saying that every single season will have like an amazing first episode and then carry that momentum forward, but like if it takes 6 episodes, holy shit. That's like in a lot of in an era post Netflix, like a lot of series nowadays are only like what, like 6 to 12 episodes per season nowadays.
Yeah.
So because of that, like
That's like a whole season.
yeah, do you like, can you really sit through 6 episodes that apparently get good after that? Like, I guess for the time while it was at its weekly format, that's probably better, but like just 6 episodes. Like those 2 episodes that you watched, Brooke, were they like the first 2 or were
Yeah, they were the first 2. I don't remember
Oh.
anything other than I was not liking anybody. So it's like I can't watch this if I don't like any of the characters. Because like immediately they're already having tensions and like love triangles and people trying to fuck people and other people.
Yeah,
being
they're all under
super-
18.
Yeah.
There's only one person on Earth in that group that's over 18.
So yeah.
This is another thing that we need to mention at some point. The CW and its like over sexualization of teenage characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the actors are in their like late 20s, early 30s, literally, and they're all playing children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except for the little children that all end up dying.
Yay.
Riverdale's the same way.
Oh god.
But
I
like,
can't wait to get to Riverdale, whenever that is. But while we're still on the 100, is that actually like I kind of assumed, like from someone who had never seen the show before, that all of the characters were aged up to an extent. Like I didn't realize that they were all still like, are most of them still under 18?
the premise of it is that on the spaceship, if you commit a crime and you're an adult, you're killed. You're floated. They kick you out of the spaceship, out of the airlock. If you're under 18, though, you just get put into jail until you're 18. And then it's not clear if when you're 18, they kick you at the space lock or if you're, like, brought back into society. But the main character, Clark, her father finds out that the spaceship is falling apart. They only have enough oxygen to last them a couple more years. He tells his daughter, and his wife overhears. His wife tells the chief dude, the head of the satellite spaceship, whatever, and her father gets floated, kicked out of space because he wants to tell people this, and she gets arrested and put into solitary confinement. She's like 15 at this time. A year passes. They haven't figured out how to fix the spaceship, so they're going to see if Earth is habitable. They can go back to Earth. So they take 100 of these minors who have committed crimes, everything from theft to murder, every crime imaginable. They take all of these, 100 of them, and send them on a dropship to Earth. With no adults, except for the one kid that snuck his way on. because his younger sister is the illegal child that was hidden under the floorboards for 16 years.
Oh my
Oh my god.
Their mother was floated. She was arrested. And he was demoted because he was training to be a guard, and then he was put onto janitor duty.
Oh my god.
I don't know how to respond to any of this information.
I don't either. What the hell?
And then Clark, main character, doesn't know it's her mom that turned in her father. She thinks it's her best friend who she told. So she's got this guilty complex for telling him and leading to her father to die. And she was literally arrested right after this, so they never had any sort of conversation to like resolve this. He was never able to explain that it wasn't him. But when he finds out about this plan, he gets arrested, so he'll be sent to Earth with her.
Fucking what?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
What the fuck?
that's a plot. That's a plot right there.
Yeah, it is. It is certainly one of the plots ever made.
That's the CW we know and love.
We know it's the
And then
CW
the
we
love
know.
triangles in there, like.
Oh god.
It wouldn't be a teen drama without a love triangle. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a one point. So Clark ends up sort of dating this one guy, Finn, on Earth. Then we find out Finn has a girlfriend up in space.
God.
Oh my god.
She risks everything to get a different ship down to Earth so she can be like, hey, you guys are alive. That's great. We can come to Earth because they're shooting people out into space to save oxygen for other people. And then, so Finn and Raven get back together, and Clark has a thing with Bellamy. But then Raven and Bellamy have a thing.
I thought Clark ended up with that girl Lexi?
Yeah, that also happens later on.
But then Lexa, I don't know what her name is. She dies at some point, doesn't she?
Oh great.
Yeah.
Yeah, bury your gays. That's it, CW. God damn it.
Wouldn't be a CW show without burying your gaze.
Oh look,
She's
another
also
reference to Supernatural.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, thanks, Marie-Soleil, for the wild synopsis of the 100.
If you're going to watch the 100, if you're listening to this and you plan on watching the 100, be prepared for murder or like a 12-year-old jumping off of a cliff. Aside and unethical medical practices.
Oh god.
Wasn't there also sorry, I know we're trying to move on, but wasn't there also a season where like people were being taken over by AI or something?
Yes.
What?
They were like hallucinating. I remember seeing episodes of this one.
What the? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
There's a computer program that is taking over people to put their brains into like a better place because there are nuclear reactors still on Earth that are going to blow up because nuclear reactors, like if nobody's taking care of them, the pieces fail and things go boom. And so they created this AI program when they were also sending people into space that would put anybody that was still on Earth when these reactors went kaboomy, put them into a better place mentally so that they didn't actually realize what was going on.
Yikes.
That is like
Wow.
next level shit.
It goes crazy and ends up like it makes people kill people who won't accept the AI or something.
Yikes.
Okay.
This is a show.
This is definitely a show. It's hearing it now, like really hearing it from like people who have seen the show. It's almost made me question like my initial love. I don't want to say love, but like fondness, I think, for the posters that I've seen of season 1, because the season 1 posters look really interesting. Like it's got an interesting premise, and like, and that, just basing it off of that though, like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Like some of these kids were arrested for like dealing drugs. Some of them were arrested for literal murder. There were 12-year-olds that were in this group of 100 of criminals sent to Earth.
Oh my god. All
And
right.
I don't even know what that, like, there's one girl who I don't think it ever names what her crime was. It just says that both of her parents were floated. So it's to be assumed that if both parents are floated, the child is put into jail.
Yikes.
Wow.
Instead of orphanages, it's just jail. Oh.
I'm so curious. When did this book come out? 2013? 2013.
Didn't the show start like premiering in like 2014 or something? Or the series?
I don't know. Actually,
Yes, 2014.
Oh my god.
I actually remember my 8th grade teacher recommending us this book. And she's like, it's good. I read it on my flight and finished it. And we're like, okay. And I don't think anyone read it.
Well, it's a series. I believe it's a series of books.
Yeah, there's 4.
Yeah, she read like the first one though.
Oh
And I never
wow.
made the connection.
All right. Well, I guess that was the 100.
I just wanted to see if it came out during like the craze of like YA dystopians, and it did. So
It did, yeah, because it was the early. It was like real early, not even like super early 2010s, but like in the early 2010s, that was what, like the era of zombies and or YA dystopic fiction.
yeah.
I want to point out that like the Wikipedia page for the 100 TV show says it's loosely based on the novel series. The same name. Loosely.
I mean, considering it came out like a year later, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably took the premise and then did whatever they wanted with it.
They were like, "Oh, this is gonna be an amazing thing. This is like
they do
dab,
with
like,
all of their adaptations."
yeah, it's like smack
actually.
dab in the middle of like the growing craze of YA. So it's like, this could be a big hit, guys. Fuck. Oh my
Like
god.
they did that with the Vampire Diaries too. They did that with Riverdale.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, Mom, if you ever listen to this, I really did love watching the 100 with you. I did. It was a great time to watch it with you. It's just like looking at that TV show, it's not the greatest show.
I love how we've taken.
I just feel like I need to put that out there. If you ever do, Mom.
I love how like these are like, I guess kind of off tangent, but like these have become like the InkGuild podcast is not just like a podcast for like creative writers or like storytelling and all that shit, but it's also somehow video diaries. Like I made thing. I remember in a joke, or in like early on in the season, I made an offhand joke about sponsorships.
Yep.
And I was really bad. I was really embarrassed because, yeah, you know, I'll probably just play the clip or something. Well, to any, I guess, to any sponsors out there who are listening, and if I decide to leave this part in or not, sponsor us. It's great. You'll probably have Alex's mom investing in your product.
oh my god. Can we talk about Supernatural now?
I guess we should. We can't really prolong
Release
it.
the beast. Release the beast.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about Supernatural. Oh my god. Okay, where do we even start?
So for those of you who don't know, the premise of Supernatural is it follows these two brothers, Sam and Dean, who it starts off very monster of the week. There's a monster, they find it, they kill it, episode ends. With a little bit of like family drama and stuff and angst and stuff thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Sounds cool on the surface.
It wasn't so bad when they were doing Monster of the Week, when they were fighting different monsters and learning about monsters and saving people and hunting things. The family business.
Yeah. What an iconic quote that no one ever really remembers anymore.
Then fucking angels showed up.
See, the thing is, I don't think the angels are the issue, because I still think up to like the end of season 5, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's not perfect, obviously, but like it's pretty good. After season 5, that's when it completely falls apart.
Mm.
Wait, I need to look this up and remember what happened at that point.
I don't want to say completely. It was definitely like it was a slow burn of like burning ash.
But okay, so season 5 ends with they literally fight Lucifer. And it should have ended there.
Yeah, and
Is that when they send Lucifer back into the pit, or
yes,
is this
Yeah.
like him and Michael and Sam and Adam, Rip Adam,
Adam.
get
Don't
stuck in
remember
the cage together.
Oh god, holy fuck, I only just now remembered Adam. Holy shit.
Everybody forgets about Adam.
Who's the actor that plays Adam? That's probably why.
He played Luke in the Percy Jackson movie.
Oh, no wonder. I forgot about Luke too.
Luke / Cronus.
Yeah, whoever's the actor for those guys, I bet you're great. It's just that the roles you're given really don't work. Anyway.
You deserve better roles. You're a good actor. You deserve better roles.
You do. Yeah, so season 5 ends, and Alex pretty much has just summed it up. Like Lucifer is the big bad. That who the fuck knows where they go from there. And surprisingly, season 6, if I remember correctly, focuses on the uncle, I think, and the fact that like, was it Sam that sacrificed himself in season 5?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
well,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
And then season 6 was about their uncle, and Sam was like Soulless Sam. That was Soulless Sam season, right?
Yeah, Soulless Sam season. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, I think that was also the part where like Dean had a family because he lost Sam, and it's like
he ended season 5 by like going to live with someone, and he like started like having a normal life.
Yeah.
He thinks might be his kid, but she says is not his kid. But everyone thinks is his kid.
Oh my god. I don't remember much from season 6. The only thing I remember from season 6 is that I fucking hated season 6.
Season 6 was also the mother of demons, Eve, apparently.
What?
Yeah, they had Eve, the mother of monsters. And then season 7 was Leviathan. I always remember that. And then season 8 was Purgatory. Season 9 was when I think that's when the angels fell.
Yeah.
Season 10 was The Mark of Cain. Season 11 was The Darkness, God's sister.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Season 12 was The British Men of Letters. Season 13.
Their mom comes back.
Yeah, that's when their mom comes back, and then Dean gets really upset because she's not still in love with their dad, who's been dead for like 10 years. And then season 13, I think season 13 was when I actually like stopped watching. But that's when Jack shows up. That's when Jack shows up.
Although he's more like Castiel, so he views Castiel as his father, not Lucifer.
Yeah. Jack is Lucifer's son. He's the Antichrist.
What?
Yeah. Although, like, deal with And we know with somebody who's supposedly an antichrist in a previous season. He's just the son of a demon and a human. And like his powers are so great that he just like teleports himself somewhere else with his mom. Because like the Winchesters are gonna kill him. He's 10 years old.
Yeah. But no, Jack is great because how it happens is Lucifer gets out of the cage. He decides to possess the president of the United States, who I think is having like an affair with his secretary. So he sleeps with the secretary. The secretary gets pregnant with Lucifer's child, and then she like runs away, meets up with Cass at some point, and then at the end of the season, she gives birth to Lucifer's son, and then I think she dies, but I don't actually remember. But it's supernatural, and she's a woman, so she probably died. And Jack is just like a full-grown man.
Oh my god.
And then they just have like this like man-child who's like super fucking powerful to travel around with for like the rest of the show.
And there's there's a parallel universe going on at this point where their mom is, and that's where Lucifer ends up, and like...
Yeah. Yeah, there's the apocalypse world.
Bobby in that universe, and Miss Bobby.
Yeah. After that, I don't know what happened because I didn't watch season 14 or 15 at all. But according to this one thing I'm looking at, season 14 was mostly concerned with getting Michael out of Dean's body. So I guess Michael's back. And then season 15.
Apocalypse World Michael. According to Wikipedia, it's specifically Apocalypse World Michael. So
okay.
A different Michael.
Okay, so Lucifer got out of the cage. Sam got out of the cage. I think Adam got out of the cage at some point because I'm pretty sure he was in season 15. Is Michael just like trapped in the cage alone now, or like what?
Poor Michael, just sitting there. I was tormenting one soul, and now they're gone.
But yeah, and then I think season 15, the big bad is God. So
what the fuck happened?
And at the end of it, Jack, like Lucifer's son, ends up taking the mantle of God.
Yeah.
And spoilers if you don't know this, but Castiel tells Dean he loves him and then is dragged into hell.
We talked about that in the queer baiting episode. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
He says absolutely nothing.
That scene is so funny.
Yes.
Oh, what the fuck? What happened to the show?
They ran out of things to do, but they kept getting renewed.
Okay, well there's the obvious answer, but like hearing all of this, I stopped right around Amara, I think. So that's when the darkness was the big villain of the season. And I didn't know anything else from there. I heard snippets from Alex and from where else, but like, holy shit! What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, the darkness was already weird. Like, that was God's sister. It's so funny.
Literally introducing a mystery sister never works. Sherlock.
Was waiting for it.
Just... what the fuck? And if I can actually like talk about like that season just a little bit, the weird relationship she had with Dean was uncomfortable.
Yeah, considering like he like because she started that season as a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, she did. Oh no.
They're stealing people's souls. And there's dude. The one dude at the Lizzie Borden's house, that one guy that was a big fan of hers, and then Amara steals his soul, but then he doesn't do anything bad, and then takes the fall for somebody else. She stole his soul and goes to jail because he knows he's going to do something bad in the future, and he's not going to be able to stop himself. Oh, that guy.
I have no memory of that.
I don't have any memory of that at all either.
There's one episode where they're in the town where Lizzie Borden's house is, and that's been changed a bit. And the old lady that, like, I think there's a kid that gets murdered in the house, or like two teenagers that are like fucking in Lizzie Borden's bedroom get murdered there. and the owner, I think, as well, gets murdered. And there's this one guy who's like a big fan of Lizzie Borden and like has a bunch of memorabilia at his place and everything. And it looks like it's him, but then they find out it was the kid that got killed in the beginning. It's his ex-girlfriend who had her soul stolen. And she's babysitting this kid who's being like neglected or abused, and she's gonna like save him by killing his parents, something like that. And the dude that also had his soul stolen shows up and saves the Winchesters by killing the crazy babysitter. And then takes the fall for what the crazy babysitter did. Because he's like, I know, there's nothing to stop me from doing this again, from hurting somebody else. I'm just gonna go to jail for everything she did.
Supernatural is a show.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh.
Literally, the only thing I know about it is the first episode and the final episode.
Yeah, the still very divisive final episode.
Is it divisive? Did anyone like it?
No one liked it.
No
one liked it.
And I knew nothing that happened in between. I just knew that it was bad.
It was so bad. It was so bad. I haven't even watched it, but I've seen clips and I've read the plot summary, and my god, like, do we need to talk about Sam's blurry wife again? Like,
okay. Oh my god.
Did you talk about blurry wife and child?
Yeah, blurry wife and child, who he named after his brother. Dean. Yeah, Baby Dean.
Baby Dean with a little Baby Dean name patch.
With his name embroidered on his overalls for some reason. Because that's what everyone does, obviously. Everyone's got a pair of overalls with their name embroidered on it.
Yeah.
I have 20, actually.
Oh, yeah.
For every occasion.
Wasn't it also in that same season finale? It was like the worst, I think. From what I've seen, it was like one of the worst ways a Winchester could die.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he fell on a nail.
Oh my god.
They were trying to clean out a nest of vampires, and there was like this throwback to this one vampire who was in like season 2 or something that no one remembered. But throwback because it's the final episode. So they like clean out the nest, and then Dean like falls and lands on this little tiny nail. Okay, it's actually a pretty big nail, but like for the show, he falls on a nail, and Sam's like, "No, Dean," and Dean's like, "It's okay, Sammy," and then he dies, and then he goes to heaven. He goes to heaven with his car, his very important car.
He goes to heaven with his car.
His car is in heaven, canon.
Oh my god!
And where he's reunited with Bobby, his father figure, and I don't know if his actual father is there or not. And some of the other like old cast members, except not really. And then Sam gets this like montage of him going through life, his blurry wife, his son Dean. There's the Party City wig, and they play like a weird cover of Carry On My Wayward Son, and then they play the actual version like a few seconds after the cover ends. And then Sam also dies of old age and goes to heaven and meets Dean. And from what I know, like I said, I haven't watched the episode, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, the final scene where Dean and Sam reunite has some like really weird incesty overtones.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be Supernatural without those, wouldn't it?
They mentioned them in the musical episode. When there's
oh my god, there was a fucking musical episode.
Are we ignoring the episode where they go to the Supernatural convention and there's like a couple who are cosplaying as them?
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck?
So there's. Do you want to talk about the convention episode first, or the high school episode? Okay, so there's the convention episode because there's a guy named Chuck who they meet who's written the supernatural books, the Gospel of Supernatural. He's supposedly a prophet. It's not actually true. But
turns out he's actually God, but that's irrelevant.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Supernatural. It's not like that's a fucking big thing that you just kind of toss away.
So there's this whole group of fans for Supernatural, and they do LARPing events. And Chuck invites Dean and Sam to a convention where people are LARPing at a hotel that's actually haunted.
But they meet up with these two LARPers who are like dressed up as Dean and Sam. And they think Dean and Sam are also LARPing as Dean and Sam. But then at the end of the episode, it's revealed that these two guys are actually a couple.
Yeah. They're partners.
Partner.
Okay,
they like hold hands and make gooey eyes at each other. Like it's heavily implied that they're a couple.
But they don't say boyfriend.
Yeah, just a really quick thing for all of the screenwriters who are somehow incorporating incest. Fucking stop it.
Please. Also, also authors, and if you write anything, don't put incest. Please stop. Stop with the incest.
Yeah, stop it. Get some help.
I'm slapping your wrists.
Slapping your wrists. I'm gonna put you in fucking corny jail.
There's an episode where they end up at an all-girls high school, and again, fans of the show write a musical play about it.
Oh my god! And I remember that.
There's a scene where the characters, the girls that are playing Sam and Dean, stand really close and look into each other's eyes because of subtext.
I don't remember that part because it's been a while since I watched that episode. I just remember that the like actors who played Dean and Cass in that episode were like together, and Dean was weird about it.
Yeah, like. I remember that episode, and when I first heard about like a Supernatural musical episode, I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting, and they actually did it, and I'm like, it makes me think about like
they did it with quotation marks because like, come on, that was such a weak ass musical episode.
Yeah, honestly, like
do what like they could have done what Buffy did, but they didn't.
Yeah, like it makes me think about just like their special. Like they already do like filler episodes here and there, but like they have that one special filler episode where it's just completely nuts. Like I think in earlier seasons they did like a Groundhog Day, I think. They did
That's such a good episode.
That was a really good episode. Yeah, it was a really nice one-off.
Gabriel.
Yeah, I
fucking love Gabriel. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. I think in another one they did, like in another special one-off, they did one where they like somehow find themselves, like Sam and Dean find themselves on the set of Supernatural in
French Mistake. That's a good episode too.
In Vancouver, BC, where they are where Sam and Dean are Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles playing Sam and Dean. And like that's so creative. Funny. It's so funny. And then they decide to do like, where do you go from there? Oh, Supernatural musical episode with incestuous overtone. Fucking stop.
Like a lot of the earlier episodes are really good. I think the first episode I watched Supernatural just coming across on TV was this episode where all of the Grimm's fairy tales are coming true in this one town.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
The little girl in a coma, and her father is reading her these fairy tales. She's in the coma because her stepmother fed her a cup of bleach.
Yeah, I do remember that episode.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of creativity early on in the show.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of episodes that I look back on fondly.
It's almost as if the original show creator was still the actual showrunner.
Yeah,
but then look what happened.
There's also some really problematic stuff in the early seasons, like talking about like episode 2, for example. But but like
What
you
was
know, like there's a.
Which episode?
It was the Wendigo episode.
Oh yeah, the Wendigo episode. Oh my god.
I don't know where this comes from, but you're not supposed to say the name of that creature. You're not supposed to write it or say it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they stuck it in the TV show.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait,
they sure
fuck,
did.
we said it on podcast. I'm gonna have to bleep it out.
And I mean, it's not the first time people have put it into TV shows and monsters. I think in the Hellboy comics, there's one in there.
Oh yeah, it's super common. It's been like completely overtaken by like white people, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool. We're gonna take this and do what we want with it."
Yeah.
They totally like blotch it. They get it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, like there's some. I'm pretty sure there's also like a voodoo episode that also had weird incestuous overtones.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there's been some like really problematic stuff on the show.
There are also a couple episodes where it's not anything supernatural, it's people. Like there's an episode where there's a like hillbilly rednecks that are hunting people in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
There's an episode where this young family buys an old house and you find out that like the original owners, he got his daughter pregnant and then hid the children in the walls of a house. Like they had completely like separate areas built in the walls of this house to hide these children, and they grew up as like feral children. And
oh my god, I remember that episode.
I remember that.
Oh god, that was.
They're not.
God, Supernatural, what are you doing?
Yeah, like I think where it really like takes like a personal turn for me is when they really decide to like fuck with the characters, like more so like Sam and Dean. I think obviously is like the big example of like, wait, what the fuck are they doing with the character arcs? But then like what they introduced,
what character arcs?
Something it existed, but like there's Cass, there's Crowley, there was Rowena for a bit, there was
she's back.
Crossroads demons.
I think Rowena was like one of the only characters or one of the only female characters that made it to like the end of the show.
Remember what they did to Charlie?
I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about that.
Like,
I'm still mad about it.
Oh man,
Charlie deserved better. I'm still mad about it.
Yeah,
I'm still mad about it. I'm still like actively angry that they did that to her.
Yeah, Dean goes and butchers the entire family of people like related to the guy that killed her, but still,
like
she was fucking brute. She was like one of the only like women on the show. Like one of the only queer characters on the show. Yeah. And they fucking brutally murdered her off screen, like.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad about it.
Do you want to go off for a bit then?
No,
okay.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
I'm still mad about it.
God, I haven't thought about Charlie in forever, and like, it's a shame too, because like, oh man, I love Felicia Day too.
But yeah, she's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it, Supernatural! What the fuck? You wasted Felicia Day.
I mean, they wasted a lot of good characters or a lot of good actors. So
they did, yeah. I think like one of my favorite, like when you kind of talk about Supernatural, you kind of associate it with like I don't want to say the big four, but like really like the four standout characters have always been like Sam, Dean, Cass, and Crowley. And what they did to Crowley
until they kill Crowley and replace him with Jack.
Why? Crowley was so good as his character arc had kind of been like fluctuating, but just he was a really fun character to watch, and his actor was like really like giving his all, I think. So like, why would you fucking waste Crowley?
Yeah,
that I'm angry about.
Touch on his traumatic backstory, but it doesn't like resolve him of like his sins. It doesn't make him it okay that he became king of hell.
And I'd also like to point, I don't remember how he died. How did he die? Didn't he like sacrifice himself or something?
I don't know.
But like
he died when like the apocalypse world happened. Yeah, Lucifer killed him. And then but also
Lucifer in an alternate reality probably killed himself with an angel blade in order to complete the rift sealing ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can also talk about the fact that he's also a queer character.
Yep.
Who's evil and dies.
God.
All the gays.
God damn it,
Supernatural writers. Like, what else am I mad about when it comes to that show? Like, I think Lucifer himself, just Daniel Pellegrino, I think his name is Daniel Pellegrino, like the actor who originally played Lucifer, was such a nice fit for Lucifer that when they eventually brought him back in like later seasons as Lucifer, it's like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. But then suddenly fucking like the whole point of Lucifer as like the big bad confused me at some point, because then I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening? What?
I was a big Lucifer fan, like of the character. I thought he was a really fun character, but I think he should have stayed dead.
Yeah,
because they kept like trying to bring him back. They did what Sherlock did with Moriarty. They kept trying to bring him back to get people like into it again, I think. But like sometimes a character should stay dead.
Also, like, I remember after like Dean goes to purgatory, when he comes back, he gets all bitchy at Sam for like actually living a life and not continuing to hunt things and kill monsters and stuff. When he literally did the same thing with Lisa.
Oh yeah. I love inconsistencies.
Like when Sam is in the pit, Dean goes and finds Lisa, lives a happy life with her and her son. But then when Dean is in purgatory and Sam does the same thing, goes and lives a happy life, meets a girl, gets a dog, how could he do that? That is so irresponsible. You owed people, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I get that, like, when Sam wasn't actually in the pit, he got brought out of the pit, he had no soul, he was still fighting monsters and shit.
Okay, but Dean didn't know that. Dean thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Like, no. The character inconsistency. And again, like I made a joke earlier about, like, the characters not having arcs. But, like, they really don't. Like, they have one arc that they go through over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do we get the same conversations between Dean and Sam as they're like yelling at each other in the car on the road somewhere?
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. It's seriously, when it's the first 5 seasons, you can kind of tolerate the whole, like, brothers bickering and eventually resolving their conflicts kind of thing. But then, like, what, for the subsequent 10 seasons, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's other pressing matters that you have to attend to, such as the shit that you cause. A lot of things that happen in Supernatural is your guys' fucking fault. Stop fighting.
Yeah.
The Supernatural fandom can get really obsessed.
Yeah. Throwback to, like,
but the fandom.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about fandoms, though. That's a whole other discussion.
We should.
Not in this episode. We still have to talk about
Do not
Riverdale.
Come after the InkGuild. Come after me. If you're going to come after me, I told you out. Come after me, not the InkGuild. It was not the InkGuild.
You know what? You can come after me too. Supernatural fandom, you're fucking crazy. Like, I commend them for trying to rewrite a shitty ending. That's pretty funny, but then just like, God, y'all really stuck through with this show, didn't you? Did y'all not like go outside?
Anyway, one of my friends and I are planning, who haven't watched the show since like season 10 or earlier, we're planning to watch all of season 15 with no context just to see how bad it is.
Oh God.
I'll update you once we do it.
Sounds like a great
definitely.
idea. Okay.
Yeah. I think that mostly covers Supernatural.
Mostly.
Create a Twitter, just live tweet that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll live tweet in the Discord.
You should.
Okay. I'll screenshot it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can touch on maybe a couple other smaller shows. And by smaller, I mean like just other shows in general before we get to Riverdale, which will kind of close the episode because like there's a lot to talk about with fucking Riverdale. How's that sound?
Sure.
I bitch about their reboots.
Sorry?
Are we talking about Powerpuff Girls?
Powerpuff Girls, Charmed, and what is it? Fuck. Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico, Charmed, and Powerpuff Girls.
I'd like to. Okay, I guess to begin this section, CW, to any people who are working in the CW who are somehow, if you've ever listened to this, first of all, hi. Secondly, fucking cancel Powerpuff Girls, you fucking maniacs.
You don't need an edgy Powerpuff Girls show.
To elaborate on that, we don't need the Powerpuff Girls show that you are planning. We've seen the leaks, and fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, the shit that I say, it's not gonna make me work with anybody.
Do you want to work with the CW though? Come on.
Okay, well that's blacklisted, you know too.
I don't want to work with the CW either.
I don't either, but just
I feel like we've all been blacklisted at this point. Brooke has been very quiet, so maybe not Brooke.
What?
Brooke,
Brooke,
congratulations! You can work with the CW.
Fuck you, CW. Powerpuff Girls looks like it sucks. Don't do it. Don't even repilot it. I see you doing that. Don't. Drop it.
All right. Well, if there's any bit, I'm assuming with all the other shit that we've been talking about on this podcast, like we've probably been blacklisted by some places, but like we've been definitely blacklisted by the CW at this point. And you know what? Good. It just if I had stuck around with like if you were still producing like content that was what season 1 of Arrow kind of quality, good. Maybe I wouldn't say this shit, but whoever you have employed to do the Powerpuff Girls reboot, stop it.
Please.
We all hate
We're
you.
begging you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Marie-Soleil, go off.
So, something I've noticed about CW is that they're rebooting shows that they don't need a reboot so they can get money from it. Like the Charmed ones, which was a show I grew up with. Like, the Charmed ones had seasons from 1998 to 2006. Yet they're fucking rebooting it now, and it's not the original story. They're completely different. Characters are different. The storyline's different. The only thing that makes it similar to the original is that it's 3 sister witches who are very powerful. Just make a new show. You're trying to jump on the bandwagon that was the Charmed ones. Same with Roswell, New Mexico. Like, the original show was for teenagers, yet you fucking put in an orgy.
Oh my god.
The original Roswell, New Mexico was teenagers in high school. Yet now they're in their 20s. They're coming back from like college. One's a police officer and they're having a fucking orgy. And then after it, she's like, well, not an orgy, a threesome. And then afterwards, like, now you need to pick me or him. It's like, fuck that shit. I thought this was going the polyamorous route. Like, you could have had a polyamorous triad. And I would have been okay with that. I still would have been pissed that you changed the show. You could have just did a different show about aliens in Roswell, New Mexico. Because, like, why not? Roswell has aliens. That's what the town, I don't know, is famous for. But no, you had to get off the bandwagon of the original show. I have emotions.
Oh, we know. That's what? You are the fourth person to have an angry rant, like a very notable angry rant on these podcasts. like I've gone off, Alex has gone off. Like, that's amazing. That was good. That was a good rant.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going through the list of different shows. I could find other shows that are reboots of old shows or just offshoots of it, like Legacies, and the originals are they branch off of Vampire Diaries, which we've already talked about. And the only reason they made those shows is to make more money off of one concept, when they could have just come up with an original idea and it would have been so much better. It would have gotten new fans, and they probably would have gotten the old fans too, because it's a similar concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun fact, you can make multiple shows with with like different characters with a similar concept. In fact, audiences often like when people do things like that because it gives them more varied content to watch.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, original ideas are good.
Branch out, explore new topics as well, like put in a polyamorous relationship. People are more accepting nowadays. Don't kill off your gay characters. Don't kill off your female characters.
Stop the fucking murder, CW. I'm gonna call the police on you. I still seriously can't get over. Like, I know it's kind of backtracking a little bit, but I really still cannot get over the Powerpuff Girls leaks.
Yeah.
They're so funny. They're so funny.
Let me pull it up. We need to read this shit.
For the listeners that don't know the premise of the new Powerpuff TV show, it's basically Powerpuff Girls are in their like 20s, they're adults, and they are bitter about their past having to fight crime and their father for making them fight crime, if I remember correctly. When really, if you watch the original show, their dad wanted them to not fight crime. Their dad wanted them to be normal kids when it was their idea to go fight crime and save their town, their city.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. Okay, what? Let me see if I can... Is this no, that's not an excerpt. It's just someone complaining. Rightfully so. Oh, okay, here. What the fuck? Okay, so here, this is Bubbles. Blossom's fine. I saw on her Insta that she has a boyfriend. I saw on her LinkedIn that she got promoted, and I saw on Facebook that she still talks to Grandpa despite their political differences. Buttercup's like coming back here is probably quote triggering end quote for her. Bubbles, why? Because she's the one who killed Mojo. I mean, moveon.org. Cringe. Stop it.
.org.
Stop it.
They're so funny.
Oh, this one's fucked. All right, this is Buttercup. Bloss, wake up or we'll leak your nudes everywhere. And then in parentheses, off Bubbles' confusion, that worked on you once.
Yeah, listen. No one who asked for this. I gotta know who asked for this gritty Powerpuff Girls reboot. Nobody asked for this. Don't make it.
To add on to that, who asked for that? If you were gonna do a gritty Powerpuff Girls reboot, no, but okay, I guess that's kind of beyond our fan control. But like this script in general, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, a better story would have been if like the Powerpuff Girls lost and the city was taken over by Mojo Jojo or one of the other villains, and then it's a resistance and they're fighting to like overthrow him. That would have been a better gritty Powerpuff Girls show.
Yeah, like
shit.
And I understand that like screenwriting for TV and for movies is difficult. Like I understand that it can be hard to maintain momentum, especially in TV when you were doing it weekly. But oh my god. This ain't it. This is not it at all. Like
also, threatening to leak someone's nudes is very bad form.
Yeah, don't encourage that.
Even joke about it.
Is there any more excerpts actually while I'm still here on Twitter?
Well, if we're gonna be talking about cringy dialogue, I think that's the perfect time to move into Riverdale.
That is the perfect time to move into Riverdale, yeah.
Do I need to pull up
more excerpts from Powerpuff? Then
yeah, let's just read off a few more cringe examples. Oh god.
Go for it. And then I can lead us into Riverdale with the iconic one.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, wait. Okay, read that. Wait, what the hell? Okay, what is this? Wait. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the opening to a scene. Interior Powerpuff Girls home, hallway, Buttercup's room, day. Blossom heads upstairs where the bumping sound continues from Buttercup's room, then abruptly stops. Blossom opens the door and finds Buttercup in bed with Macy, the woman she eyed at the bar the night before. They've just, quote, finished.
Oh. I don't know.
Oh
no,
god.
I hate that. I'm like, no, the Powerpuff Girls are children. What are you doing?
Oh my god.
Although, if any of them were to become like not straight, that's probably all of them actually. I don't think I see any of them growing up to be straight.
No.
I heard that they had like a problematic black aggressive lesbian trope though. So, you know, can't even get the representation right. But who's surprised? It's the CW.
Yeah,
I've been hearing people complaining. I'm sorry.
No, go. Go ahead. We're still on this. It's so bad.
I've heard people complaining about like the casting choices for the Powerpuff Girls. I just want to point out they were created in a lab, a mixture of chemicals. They are not genetically related to each other or to the professor who created them. It doesn't matter that they don't look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, if you have an issue with them like making one of them black, then that sounds like a you problem and get over yourself.
Yeah. I guess if we're gonna start blacklisting, if we're gonna start getting each other blacklisted, if you have an issue with that, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like we said this I think in Marie-Soleil's debut episode actually, where we were talking about book adaptations and we touched on Ariel being black in The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I think I was just as upfront as I am about it right now, but yeah, if you have an issue, like a genuine issue with what? A character that is not like created with any specific race in mind, and you already have an issue with them being a different, like a person of color rather than white, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Unless it
It's
is
what-
to their backstory, like Magneto being a Jewish man, and they want to make him black for some reason, but he's a Holocaust survivor and a Jewish man. His backstory should not be changed in that regards. If it's absolutely nothing to do with their backstory, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
That was something I argued with somebody else earlier today.
it's really not that hard to comprehend. Like if the character is written and is rooted in a specific culture, like if they're rooted in like Black culture, then it's only fair that they are a Black character. But if it doesn't matter, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of shutting the fuck up, I will now do that as Alex introduces us to Riverdale.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
Can we just like
Anyway,
Okay, wait, for the Riverdale section, instead of like actually talking about this like specifics at length, can we just like read off cringe lines?
do we want to pull up a list?
Let's start. Let's do it.
Cringy Riverdale quotes. It autocorrects when I get to cringy river.
Yeah. So so I guess the reason why I pitched the idea is because we all kind of know Riverdale is bad. We know it's been bad, and it's still batshit. Like it's kind of embraced that in a way. So rather than discussing said batshitness, let's just talk. Let's just go over the lines. I've always wanted to do this.
I forgot about I was attacked by a bear.
What?
Okay, so in the season where Archie, I don't remember if it's before or after he goes to jail, but around the time Archie goes to jail, he like at some point he escapes to Canada, and he's living in Canada for a while with his dog, and at one point he gets attacked by a bear. And then like he's like back in Riverdale, he's like in the high school, he's like getting undressed or whatever to go to football practice, and he has this big scar across his chest, and this other dude's just kind of like staring at him, and he's like, I was attacked by a bear. It's so funny.
Oh god. Okay, here I'm sending the list onto the thing.
How can we forget about the you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
That's literally the first one on this list.
Good, because
I found
that's the one I remember.
I found one on like the list on Tumblr, and the first one on this list is, you've got some pretty big coconuts pulling that kind of stunt last night.
Okay, wait. What the fuck is this? Okay, so in the list that I sent from BuzzFeed, which is appropriately 26 times Riverdale characters said the most ridiculous things. Ridiculous is very, very polite. This one is the third one. When Jughead used all of their ship names in this mind-boggling sentence, a Bughead kiss right now in the present might be precisely what it takes to save a future Bughead from imploding.
That scene was so cringe. I'm still mad that they didn't. There hasn't been a Jughead Archie kiss though.
What about?
Like, come on. Where's the Jarchie? We want the Jarchie.
There's always room for one more kitty in my litter box.
There's also from Ethel. That's because the Gargoyle King wants me and Jughead to be together. We're gonna be a ship. To which Betty replies, "Ethelhead, in your dreams."
We make tickle videos for a guy named Terry.
Oh, I forgot about the tickle plotline. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
No, okay, what this is going to turn into is you guys are going to read the quotes and I'm going to have to explain the context.
Do you know whose blood this is, Mommy? This is Jason's blood. This is Daddy's blood. And the next blood to be spilled will be yours.
I don't think I want context.
It's always a contest to see who has the cringiest dialogue in this show. Oh my god, and there's the serial killer genes too. Oh my god, this plotline is also ridiculous.
Okay. What the okay, this is the Reddit thread. So, worst lines in r/Riverdale. I'm gonna make my bones with you.
Mr. Andrews, nice haircut. You're looking extra dilfy today.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. I need to go through this Reddit thread a little bit. Okay, wait. Tall boy, you're the tallest guy in this room. You wouldn't even need a ladder.
I am so over the toxic masculinity in this hallway right now. Followed immediately by, I beg your misogynistic pardon.
What the? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
No one speaks like this. Or when Veronica says, because we're endgame, Archie.
The other guys told me that he's impressed by my Fizzle Rock sale. Okay, wait. Where is Papa Poutine's son, Small Fries, looking for payback? Oh my god. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, wait, no context, Riverdale. Can I get a hug? Can I get a dad?
I got another one. How about, I'm an unwed mother carrying my cousin's babies.
Drop the butter knife, bitch. She's not stealing child brides out of orphanages.
We also got to talk about I'd recognize those abs anywhere.
Oh my god.
That's one of my favorite iconic moments.
Oh, men and their delusions. Why do they do anything?
Because we're endgame, Archie.
Luckily, I was able to get my archery set and hunting kit. What the fuck? Yeah, the title's appropriate. Everyone owns a bow and arrow.
Are they healthy? Do they have names? Juniper and Dagwood. Oh my god. For once, I agree with you, Betty.
What the fuck? Wait. Take your male privilege and your male gaze and get out of the women's locker room. Oh
yeah,
God.
this show.
Thank you for mansplaining my business to me.
We have 35 best Riverdale quotes of all times.
Okay, wait.
From Archie, I feel like the prettiest girl at the dance. I was born alone. I'll die alone. I'll sing alone. I'll be okay.
Oh my god. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, especially not when there's a snake curled up in its limbs. Ooh, that's so creative writer-esque. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. What the fuck?
You may be a stock character from a 90s teen movie, but I'm not. Are you sure about that?
That's exactly what that would say.
I fucking love this show.
You may be a stock character from a 90s teen movie, but I'm not.
That's what I literally just read, Dean.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's too funny. I needed to Oh my god.
Listen up, Fives. A 10 is speaking.
You've got the vocabulary of a baked potato.
That's actually a really good insult, though. Actually, to clarify, Betty and Archie aren't dating, but they are endgame.
You live in this pale pink world of milkshakes and first kisses. Oh my god.
I love this show. It's so bad. I'm only half joking when I say it's my favorite show of all time.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm pretty sure this is just a fake quote, but like it's I'm hungry. You can eat what my mom made. What did she make? Me. Like, I'm pretty sure that's just a copy pasta from somewhere else now. Like, I'm just on Google Images, and I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of these are fake, but, like, I really wouldn't put it past it at this point, because... Why?
I don't remember that one, so it's probably a fake one.
It's fake, yeah. It's more than likely. I'm pretty sure you could just insert any random copy pasta into Riverdale screenshots, and it'll be, like, everyone will accept that it's a Riverdale quote.
Yeah.
Like the fucking, what is it? What the fuck you say to me, you little bitch? I have you know I have... Oh my god, I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs, and I have over 300 confirmed. I need to remember what that copy pasta is. I love that copy pasta so much. I need to remember it by memory.
I just found a funny one that's like, it's like a meme where there's like 6 squares. The first 5 are all like characters, and the last one is just like the general cast, and it's like, there is good in goodbye, there's hell in hello, there is lie in believe, there is if in life, there is over in lover, but there is no end in Riverdale.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. No.
Oh god.
I feel bad for the actors. Like, they must be trapped in, like, a literal hell.
Or...
And they're in purgatory.
To offer a counter perspective, maybe they're enjoying the shit out of this meme.
Have you seen interviews with the cast?
I guess not. Why? What is
Lily
it like?
Lily Reinhart, who plays Betty, always looks so miserable. Like, she's just like sitting there, like she looks completely miserable talking about the show. I feel so bad for her.
Oh my god, okay, wait. I don't know if you read this already, so like tell me if I'm just repeating, but one's like, don't test this mumsy. We know how to pulls out a belt, dominate too. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, Cheryl. She's the best character on the show.
Okay, so that was a lot more productive, I think, than actually talking about the show at length. If you wanted,
if we want, I can still try to explain the plot of season 5 to I don't think I've explained it to all of you.
I think I know, and you can try to do that because I need to go to the washroom real quick. So go ahead, Alex.
Marie-Soleil, Brooke, have I explained the plot of season 5 of Riverdale to you before?
Is that
I don't think so.
the most recent one?
Yeah. The currently
The
ongoing
aliens
one. The aliens one, yeah.
Okay.
No.
I think you've largely done it at least.
There's... Okay, so the series starts like... I want to say like 7 years after they graduate from high school. Jughead is a failing best-selling author in New York in an abusive relationship. Jughead is... I just talked about Jughead. Veronica's married. She also lives in New York. And she's also in an abusive relationship. Betty's training with the FBI. Archie just came back from the war. Which war?
one?
I couldn't tell you. It's just called The War. But he's just come back from the war. And he goes back to Riverdale to work as like a recruiter. And he discovers that Riverdale is falling apart. So he calls all of his friends that he hasn't talked to in 7 years back to Riverdale to ask for their help to fix it. Because Veronica's evil father, Hiram, has ruined it, and it's like laughably post-apocalyptic now. Like, there's just like barrels in the street that are on fire. It's so funny. So they decide to come back to Riverdale to save it. They all become teachers at the high school. With which qualifications I couldn't tell you. But but they're high school teachers now, for a few episodes until the show writers got bored of that and decided to drop it. Veronica is the economics teacher, so she makes up her own money system called River Dollars to spread, to spread
That's
around
a good idea.
so that Riverdale gets its own economy and isn't reliant on like American money.
Oh my god.
Illegal?
What?
Pretty sure it's illegal.
I don't think Riverdale's like an actual town at that point anymore, so I don't know what the legality of that is. But yes, she makes up her own money system, and then is also dealing with her weirdly possessive, kind of abusive husband who comes into town, but she's also kind of cheating on him with Archie because of course she is. Archie decides to become a firefighter, as well as a high school teacher and army recruiter. So he starts a volunteer fighting squad with. He also becomes a football coach. I can't forget that one. So he starts a volunteer firefighting department with his football team, which is also made up of the army club.
Oh my god. It's like, oh, here's all of the noblest job occupations. Go.
Give them all to Archie, yeah. Betty is dealing with trauma because she helped solve like a case with a serial killer, but she was also kidnapped him, and he's called like the trash bag killer.
He killed them with a trash bag.
Because he wears one like over his face or something.
Just like dinosaur scarecrow.
What?
Scarecrow from Batman has like a cloth bag that he wears over his head so that people can't see his face, like a scarecrow is supposed to be made out of.
But like, yeah, it's a DC supervillain. This is a fucking.
Yeah, he's called the trash bag killer. Anyway, so she also, her sister Polly is kidnapped, and has gone missing. So she's also trying to look for her sister, and basically uncovers the fact that a bunch of women in like Riverdale and area have gone missing over the past 20 years, and no one's really done anything about it. So she's like trying to solve that case while also dealing with like flashbacks from her time being kidnapped by the trash bag killer. I'll touch briefly on Cheryl before I get to Jughead as well. Cheryl is depressed because she broke up with her girlfriend and she moved on. And so now Cheryl is basically learning how to make copy paintings so that she can be like an art con artist of like art. And she also becomes a high school teacher. She wants to, but she just to like lead the cheerleaders because that's all she cares about. Jughead, meanwhile, like I said, is a struggling best-selling author. He published a book. It did really, really well. And now his publisher is like, we need another book. Write us another book. But he's really struggling with it. So he's like, well, while I'm in Riverdale, I will start writing another book. So he starts trying to write a book. Decides that the best way to do this is to, get some of the more interesting stories out of Riverdale. So he talks to this dude who's like, oh yes, there's aliens in Riverdale, and this starts going down this like plot line about aliens, and there was this abduction at Pop's diner, and so he goes to talk to one of the witnesses who was like, yes, you mean the Mothmen. So he starts looking into the Mothmen, discovers that Cheryl's grandmother has the preserved body of an alien in a barrel of maple syrup.
Syrup.
Yeah, because they run a maple syrup farm. But yeah, so there's a preserved alien body in a maple syrup barrel. So Jughead and Pop's niece, I want to say, are watching over it, but then aliens show up, so possibly, and Jughead blacks out, and the alien body was stolen. So he decides to start looking into it, but then he starts talking to these people about he finds this therapist basically who deals with people who have like been through alien abductions and stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, usually it's not actually an alien. It's just like a way for people to process their repressed trauma. So he starts being like, oh, I guess I just have repressed trauma to deal with. It's not really aliens. And then he decides he's gonna get high on like mushrooms and write his novel. So he gets these mushrooms and he puts them on a burger and he locks himself in the bunker and eats the burger and gets really high and writes his book, and also hallucinates having sex with Betty and his ex-girlfriend and also the alien sort of. And then he gets abducted by aliens.
Coming from a Canadian, maple syrup is not a good thing to use to preserve a body. Jeez.
That's what you focus on.
No, the maple reserves. The maple part?
It's bad science. The waste of maple syrup.
I literally, yeah. It's just the most ridiculous plotline ever. But I'm so invested in it. I want to know if he actually got abducted by aliens or not.
I still, like, to this day, I still can't believe you sometimes when you tell me these things. Like, I know full well you were telling the truth. Completely unironically, that this is shit that actual writers have actually written into existence, and these people are actually acting out. Like, I know it's all real, but I still think for some reason Alex secretly hates me, and she's just telling me a bunch of bullshit.
I wish I was, to be honest.
It's so weird.
Dean, you don't understand how badly I wish I was making this up.
Like, in a way, I kind of commend the writers for this, because, like, in no other series would you be able to get away with this. Like, they have to be 100% self-aware that their material is this batshit. Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's so funny. It's like, this is better than any comedy show I've ever watched. Like, you can't get funnier than whatever Riverdale's doing.
God, it's the top tier meme show. It's only on the CW.
I only have to wait a month for the rest of season 5 to start airing.
Yeah, live tweet that too, actually.
I already do that. I'm gonna have to start doing, because I send that to like one of my Instagram group chats whenever I watch it. So I guess I'll have to send it here too.
You might need another channel just for the live tweeting of watching shows.
Yeah, we can make one. I will. Yeah,
let's fucking do it. I'm gonna do that right now.
Channels, but like that would be a useful channel. Live tweeting of like us watching movies and shows that we feel like other people would find funny. Like that one about the Velociraptor pastor or something.
The Velocipastor, the best movie ever made. It's a good movie. I recommend it.
No.
Did you see it? Is that why you're disapproving?
She muted herself.
It was Velocipastor crap out of my face.
The Velocipastor is a good movie.
No.
Yes.
Not to me.
It's fair. What was it? Ever since fucking Gabe told us about Velocipastor, I have been like really trying to find a copy of it, and for some fucking reason I can't. Like, I have easier access to weed than I do Velocipaster, and that's weird.
It's on Prime Video.
Oh, it's on Prime Video. Oh
I'm
my
really
god.
curious. In Canada, weed is legal now. That is not an illegal comment. Weed is legal.
No, do you know what else is perfectly legal? Velocipaster.
Yeah, but like
Both I can
we're not
easily
doing it
find. I can likely find either or, and for some reason I'm easier. Like it's easier to find weed than it is Velocipaster.
It's a good movie. I recommend it.
There.
we are not encouraging illegal behavior on this podcast. Remember.
I am, however, encouraging you to watch The Velocipaster because it's a good movie.
What was
I'm
it?
probably better than a lot of CW's stuff.
Yeah. Just complete off note too, while we're still on this tangent. When we did our episode with my friends from high school, the Soy Boys, one of them introduced Gabe and I to the Incredible Bulk or something like that. Like it's this weird ripoff of the Incredible Hulk, and it's so funny.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta watch like B-list movies that don't take themselves too seriously.
Riverdale. What the fuck is that called? The Immalkable Bulk or something? The Impeccable. I don't know. I'm actually on this tangent right now. I really want to
The
know.
Amazing Bulk.
The Amazing Bulk?
The Amazing Bulk. It's not even an hour and a half long.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's so funny.
Yeah. I stand by it. Sometimes you just gotta watch movies that don't take themselves too seriously. The Velocipaster is a good example of that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Amazing Bulk, so I can't speak to that, but like, you know what? Sometimes you gotta watch bad stuff because it's better than stuff that's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is completely irrelevant to what we're talking about, but
No, it's kind of relevant to Riverdale. It makes sense. Like in Riverdale, all I've been told is that it's so bad it's good.
it's not so bad it's good. It's just bad.
Are you sure? We've been having a blast making fun of it.
No, okay, Riverdale is the kind of thing that you cannot like watch directly. It is better hearing about it from someone else who has watched it.
It's like a fucking solar eclipse. You need special sunglasses and no brain.
Yeah, listen, I am sacrificing myself to entertain you by putting myself through watching Riverdale so that I can tell you what's happening on it.
You're doing your own work, God of the multiverse.
Hardly.
Yeah. This is why you're God of the multiverse. You put yourself through more things that us mortals simply can't.
Yeah, I do. For the record, for the record, I 100% do not recommend Riverdale. Don't support this show. It's my favorite train wreck, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else.
All right, well, yeah, what was it? Like, I know Gabe isn't speaking on the podcast tonight, but he like has said numerous times off podcast, and I think leading up to this episode that he was going to watch all five seasons of Riverdale, or at least get caught up enough to contribute. And honestly, I
Don't
really
do it.
I didn't ever want him to, because he would have suffered.
It wasn't worth it, Gabe. You don't have to put yourself through that.
Yeah.
I'll put myself through that for you.
Yeah, let Alex be the sacrificial lamb for all of us.
Anyway.
You know what? I think we can probably end it there. Likely, like unless what? There's still. Oh shit! I really wanted to talk about Jane the Virgin, even though I know nothing about that show, but apparently it's also really bad.
Isn't that a show about a girl who gets pregnant by she goes to the gynecologist?
Yeah, she's supposed to get a pap smear, but she actually gets one of those sperm transplant things.
Yeah.
Or whatever
She's
those are
dating somebody else, but she also meets basically the sperm donor of the child, and there's a love triangle or something.
Yeah, it's a it's like a soap opera.
Yeah.
It's very soap opera-y. I've seen like clips of it. Like I've never watched it myself, but I've seen like some clips, and yeah, it's a soap opera.
Yeah. I have two friends that like in their own way they really like Jane the Virgin, and that is I think the one show that I actually judge them for cuz why? Everything I hear about this show is just it's not like as bad as Riverdale, but I'm so confused. Why?
Nothing's as bad as Riverdale. I've never seen anything in my life that's as bad as Riverdale.
There are a few things that came to mind that are pretty bad as Riverdale, but I'm not gonna get to that.
Okay, we can talk about that after.
Yeah, it's probably better we do because
New Mexico.
Yeah. What else? I think we've talked about like Pretty Little Liars and not Pretty Little Liars, but I think the Vampire Diaries in a previous episode of the podcast, and likely, like if not for us, like Jenny Nicholson did a full like 2.5 hour video on the Vampire Diaries.
It's a really good video. I highly recommend it. She does a lot of good content.
Yeah. I really want Jenny Nicholson on this podcast. There's no way, but I really would love to have her on this.
Hey, Jenny Nicholson, if you're listening to this, we're big fans.
Yeah, a lot of us are. I'm a recent fan, but like, please, it'd be fun. She did a
tag
thing.
her on YouTube video, or if you can, I don't know. Tag her on TikTok if she has a TikTok.
I'm gonna send her an email.
Too.
Yeah, I've been sending emails to like how many, again, off topic, but like I've been sending, like I sent emails to Marie-Soleil. I think you maybe might know them or Brooke and Marie-Soleil, you guys might know them, but like I've sent DMs to Morgan Drinks Coffee, Straw Hat Goofy, and Too Hard the Bard recently.
Oh, Too Hard the Bard, I love him.
Yeah. Don't they go by they them pronouns?
Of them.
Yeah. Okay. I just heard, never mind. Yeah. I would love for Too Hard the Bard to appear on this podcast. I like just the Rosewood Inn is like an amazing idea, and I would love to talk like with them about like just how just on that, and also like their inspirations for like other stories and shit. But like, yeah, this is a whole other thing. If you're listening to this podcast and you like support what we do, please manifest this for us, or pray, like whatever religion you believe in, or whatever religion you believe in, please. We'd really appreciate it. Yeah. That was a wild tangent. Do we want to call it there then?
I don't think we have anything else to say.
Yeah. I guess in conclusion.
It's already 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. It's 11 o'clock our time here in Canada where we don't have the CW.
But we watch your shows and bitch about them.
Yeah. There are some shows that are so bad it's good. There are some shows that are fine, and then there are some shows where it's like, please fucking don't.
Please cancel Powerpuff Girls.
Do it. Please.
Charmed.
Yeah, just stop. I really hope this doesn't land us in legal trouble. We are still a comedy podcast, and a lot of the jokes we're making are jokes.
I mean, it's not like we have any weight in anything. Like, we're a bunch of 20-something-year-olds.
I know, but I think about this shit all the time.
I know, you have to think about this because you're running this thing. But
oh God, I am, aren't I? I could easily just cut all of that part where we're just saying, yeah, whoever did Powerpuff Girls, fuck you, but also, yeah, fuck you.
We're not making money off of anything we're saying. So
yeah, if
There are podcasts and such about people that like make fun of other people and everything, but they make money off of it, and we're not doing that. So
Yeah, we're just a bunch of like 20-something-year-olds just talking as friends do. And that's what these podcasts are about. If you like them, listen to all of it. Yeah. I think with all of that said then, and if we don't really have much else to kind of go off of, then let's call it for tonight. Yeah, this was the CW episode by a bunch of Canadians. Yeah, you can find our social media down in the description below, both individually and as the InkGuild. We are on we're on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at the InkGuild, except for Twitch, because that's the InkGuild_Twitch. Our main home is on YouTube. However, you can find our content on YouTube and Spotify. And yeah, I think that's about it. I didn't really have a closing segment in mind because, to be honest,
I have a closing segment in mind.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just want to say, as we're closing out on this, as a bunch of Canadians, we have no choice but to make fun of American television shows, because Canadian shows are also bad.
there's a lot less of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those don't exist.
How many? What other, like? Can you guys even name like a notable, like, a Canadian original show? I certainly can't.
I think Anne with an E is Canadian, but I might be wrong.
Oh yeah, Anne with an E.
It
I
is
think
Canadian.
Yeah, okay.
There was a cop show a while back, Flashpoint, I think. That's Canadian, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. Hold on.
Ranching thing. Name.
Kim's Convenience.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one, and it's a good one.
Corner Gas.
Corner Gas, yeah.
Handmaid's Tale is Canadian?
Apparently.
That is just Frontier.
Schitt's Creek?
I'm surprised about Schitt's Creek. I thought that was an American show.
Nope, it's Canadian.
Handmaid's Tale is an American dystopian created blah 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 of a novel of the same name by Canadian author Margaret Atwood. I don't know.
Canadian TV series Wizard Life with Derek reboot.
Life with Derek? Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
Talk about like almost incest, like.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, never mind. I'm not including this in the video.
Siblings, but still, like.
I didn't think about that show up until it popped into my head like 2 seconds ago. I didn't ever think of it like that. Oh my god.
Anyway, my point is, we have no choice but to make fun of American TV shows because we don't have anything to make fun of up here.
Facts. So yeah, so I guess is another open letter to all of the Canadian production companies. Please fund your creators. Because who knows, you might get something absolutely amazing or something like Riverdale. It's a gamble, but you should take it. I think that's it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.